It's interesting you introduce this angle that sometimes you go to court and you may not get what you ask for. You may get different things. But I'm not so sure that you go to court and get more than what you ask for. I'm not so sure. And I'll be surprised if you yourself personally were not scandalized when you heard the decision that has been delivered by the court. It will be fair for us to await the full judgment to enable us render a proper critique of the decision. But for the petitioner to ask for the annulment of 41 polling stations, where the issues that he complained of actually took place, and the court to say that he has annulled the entire election and has ordered a rerun of all the 152 polling stations. Amazing. Amazing. Of course, you remember the elections petition, Nana Akufo-Addo versus the Electoral Commission, John Mahama, the kind of statements that the Supreme Court made, that you cannot invalidate the vote of voters merely on account of some action not having been taken by the electoral officers. So to invalidate the entirety of the votes in Kpandai because someone complained of 41 police stations, which if the court was minded to, and that if it had indeed been established that there were some irregularities in those police stations, it would be acceptable, if you like, if the court had said that it was invalidating the 41 police stations for the electoral commissioner to conduct a rerun in those police stations, rather than invalidating the entirety of the result. And it's surprising to me that our friends...
Do you know, we don't have any of the lawyers on the platform now, but do you know what must have led to invalidation of the entire rather than the 41? Because it is possible that in assessing the 41, the judge could have come to a decision that the 41, they taint the rest.
Yep. How so? When evidence would have been led on the 41 police stations that the petitioner himself complained of. How so? The rest of the police stations were not an issue. Okay?
Yeah,
so to suggest that, well, you complain of 41 police stations, and ordinarily, if I was making any determination on the fact before me and the evidence before me, I'm to restrict myself to the fact and evidence before me and make a determination. But I'm going beyond that and invalidate the entire polling result of the constituency. It's far-fetched. But it will be good, like I said, for us to see the full judgment. Because
what if the 41 polling stations results put together
doesn't matter.
Change the entire...
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter at all. That's why if the outcome of the 41 would impact the generality of the result, you order a rerun, limited to the areas where the infractions took place, not the entire constituency. How does that even come about? And so if you get decisions like this, why is it surprising when responses in the nature that the minority leader delivered come? It's to anybody.
You endorse the response?
Certainly. Because you see, Samson, we've heard people speak in this country. We've heard the kinds of things that people have said. We've heard the statements relative to a certain reset of the judiciary started. And so if you have a judge who is determining a particular matter based on the facts and evidence before him, goes beyond and invalidates the entire result of the constituency, you have cause to question what motive that the judge has other than law to make those statements. So certainly, I endorse the statement a majority leader made. Okay, and the danger.
The judge did the bidding of the paymasters.
The danger that decisions like this potentially has on our democracy. So what the judge effectively is saying, that in future elections, all you have to do is to create chaos in 2, 3, 4, 10 police stations and that would be ground for invalidating the result of the entire constituency.
That's a high court. That decision is not binding on all courts.
I don't have a problem, but that's.
I get the analogy.
Election petitions are matters that are subject to high court jurisdiction. So is that what the court is saying? It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, and we should not allow the judiciary to be weakened to the point where you will get comments like this coming from affected persons. If you say you are resetting the judiciary, people who called the Supreme Court unanimous FC because they themselves had submitted a petition that was completely baseless and empty. And because of that, the Supreme Court did not agree with them. They called them all sorts of names. They are offended. Say it again.
Do you it for that?
What is it for that?
Because they talked that.
I'm saying that the people who have used much more derogatory words against the court are today offended by people who are unhappy with a certain decision of the court and are drawing attention of the court.
Do you recall the comments that got Dominic Ayene, Dr. Basit, Abdul Basit Bamba, and so on, for punishment, and even the Supreme Court had to, as it were, tamper justice with.
Yes, I do.
They were not this,
They were not like this.
Well, but of course, that was during the pendency of the matter before the court. The court has delivered this decision, okay, and the minority is entitled to criticize it. And if the outcome is suggestive of something other than law, how else do you want them to conclude?
That's not an objective view.
What would be an objective view then?
I'll bring what's the name? I'll bring Inus Afseni on